Hello and welcome here to the MSG for today's Game 5 action with the Leafs versus the Rangers. And if the Leafs don't win here today, their season will be over. But now we get you the starting goaltenders. James Reimer coming in for Bernier has 2.03 goals against average, doing fairly well, has 1 win. And Lundqvist been on fire. Leafs are going to have a hard time getting past him. Sorry about there being no graphic about injuries, but the Rangers have 3 injuries: Rick Nash, Kevin Klein, and Dominic Moore. But we're underway as Kessel trying to get things started, but his shot is stopped. Back to Gunnarsson, over to Phaneuf, and Phaneuf's shot is stopped by Lundqvist. And covered up. Nash being out will be a big problem for the Rangers. And it's a huge opportunity for the Leafs. Phaneuf's low shot was easily stopped there by Lundqvist. But now they set up again. Kadri and the second line come out for the Leafs. And Kadri wins the draw back to Cody Franson, who takes his wrist shot but is stopped by Lundqvist. Kadri passes over to Franson again, who takes the stop shot, and that's blocked. Girardi trying to exit the zone. He passes up to Zuccarello. And Zuccarello coming down the side, and he gets the puck stolen, but now it's Clarkson. David Clarkson cutting outside, takes the short side shot, but that's wide. Lupo back to Franson, who takes the slap shot, and that's blocked by his own man. Lupo trying to find a partner. Tries to do a spin move to get around Girardi, but gives it right away. And now Brad Richards gets destroyed by Lupo. Sorry, not Lupo, Clarkson. And the low shot on goal is now stopped. Girardi, his pass is tipped, but it gets to Zuccarello still. And now Benoit Pouliot takes a low shot, and that's stopped by Reimer. Now Lupo, up to Kessel. Phil Kessel loses the puck now. McDonough gets hit against the boards, but now it's Bozak who takes a shot, but that's wide. Carl Hagelin being pressured by Van Riemsdyk, loses the puck, and now it's McDonough. Ryan McDonough tries to pass, and his pass does make it to Martin St. Louis, who takes a shot, and that's stopped. Stepan passes around to Hagelin, who goes back to McDonough, whose shot is stopped by Reimer. Now Gleason fighting for it to Bozak, and now up to Van Riemsdyk, whose pass is intercepted by Daniel Carcillo. And Carcillo still fighting for it, and now Stepan. Derek Stepan into the middle, and that's blocked by Gleason. Now Hagelin fighting for it, and now it's Stepan again, whose pass is now intercepted, and now Kuhlman coming down the middle into Van Riemsdyk. Van Riemsdyk outside to Bolin, whose shot is stopped. Derek Brassard dumps it around to Justin Falk. Falk loses the puck into the middle, and that's intercepted. Now Anton Strawman, the former Toronto Maple Leaf, up to Carcillo, who goes up to Chris Kreider. Gunnarsson on D, and now Reimer will attempt to cover up, misses the puck, and now Kuhlman. Nikolai Kuhlman up to Boland. Dave Boland cuts in and loses the puck. John Moore up to Brian Boyle, who passes up to Derek Dorsett, who dumps it down in the Toronto zone. Back to the point, and Girardi, whose slow shot is stopped, and the rebound bubbling around and scores! Brian Boyle scores the first goal of the game with 4:21 left in the first, and the Rangers are first on the board from the Brian Boyle shot in the slot. Reimer didn't have any chance on that one, as Brian Boyle in the slot picked it up and just turned around and ripped one far side. And Reimer couldn't have done anything about that one. It's a 1-0 lead. Brian Boyle from Dorsett and Girardi to make it a 1-0 lead for the Rangers. Zuccarello between the legs pass to McDonough, who goes behind him, but he's able to get the puck eventually. But now it's Stahl up to Zuccarello. Matt Zuccarello gets tripped and they both go down, but it's still going to be a penalty. 2 minutes to Jake Gardner. And that's an iffy call as they both went down. Let's see here. It looks... Oh, yeah. That was a trip. But they both fell down. So I'm not sure about that one. Nonetheless, it's a penalty. We can't reverse it. We don't have a TARDIS. But now McClement loses the draw. But Morgan Riley stands up his man. And it exits the zone. The Rangers will re-enter the zone now. And McDonough takes a shot, and that's stopped by Reimer. And Morgan Riley will try to clear, but that's batted down. And McClement passes it back around him. Riley, excuse me, I lost my words there for a second. And Stahl enters it on offside. McClement doesn't realize it, and it looks like there might be a fight or something. Stahl's going after McClement, but McClement isn't having nothing of it. The two assistant captains going at it. But a nice stop there from Reimer on the McDonough wrist shot. If the Leafs are going to win this game, they're going to have to stop the Ranger power play by either taking no penalties or having a great penalty kill. But now, Gunnarsson dumps it down, and there's a penalty on the play. McDonough touches up, and it will be 4-on-4 for a minute 8. As who's going off for slashing is going to be Zuccarello. Matt Zuccarello going off 2 minutes for slashing. And as you see here, just catching the hand of Bozak there, trying to lift the stick, missed. A fair call, and Bolin will come out on the offensive zone face-off. Boland wins the draw. Lupo back to Gleason, who takes a stop shot, and that's stopped easily by Lundqvist. A nice glove save, and it'll be another offensive zone face-off for the Leafs. A nice slap shot opportunity from Gleason. But I don't think Bolin was expecting the slap shot there. If he was, then he could have got a tip to it, and that could have been the equalizing goal. 1:36 left in the first period. Carl Hagelin steals the puck. Passes over to McDonough. Ryan McDonough takes a slap shot. And that goes out of play, actually. McDonough noticing that the penalty to Gardner was over, trying to dump it, but was unable to do so, and now it's an offensive zone face-off for the Leafs. Kadri loses the draw, and McDonough is able to dump now, and the Leafs have less time. Reimer comes out to play the puck, looking for a pass, and finally finds it in Kessel. Phil the Thrill Kessel passes up to Kadri. Kadri stops, over to Van Riemsdyk, who shot a stop, and the rebound is stopped again. Lundqvist having a good period so far. And that shot is almost tipped in by Kadri. Phaneuf on the shot, but unable to get the tip to it. And a stop nonetheless from Henrik Lundqvist. Van Riemsdyk looking skyward as he had two wonderful opportunities to bury that one, especially the first. Lundqvist coming out to get it. But now 11 seconds left in the power play, 17 in the period. Bozak to take the draw, and he wins it. Lupul over to Clarkson, whose shot is stopped by Lundqvist. What a stop by the glove. A quick shot from Clarkson, nearly snuck by. He was able to get some elevation to it, but just wasn't able to beat the quick reflexes of Lundqvist. Bozak to take the draw again, and he wins it again. Clarkson back to Lupul. Lupul trying to find a shot. Is able to, but that's a backhander that's easily stopped. Pobbling, and that's stopped again. And that will be the end of the first in today's Game 5. It is 1-0 Rangers. A solid period from Henrik Lundqvist. But we'll leave you for some first period highlights. 1-0 Rangers. Hello and welcome back here to the MSG. It's a 1-0 game for the Rangers, and the Leafs are going to need to step up their play if they're going to want to come back in this game and continue on their season onto a Game 6 back in Toronto. But the first lines meet up, and Bozak wins the draw. Gunnarsson up to Kessel quick, and Kessel cutting into the middle and takes a quick snapshot, and that one nearly snuck by Lundqvist. A heads-up play from Lundqvist to get in the zone right away. But now it's an offensive zone face-off early for the Leafs. See if they can get some momentum with an early goal. Bozak wins the draw. Kessel back to Phaneuf. Dion Phaneuf takes a slap shot, and that's blocked. Stepan up to Hagelin, who goes back to Stahl. Mark Stahl decides to dump it around to Stepan, who gets destroyed. And oh my gosh, they're going to call that a 5-minute major. James Van Riem's like the leading point scorer for the Leafs in the playoffs so far, has just been ejected. And I'm not too sure about that one. He glided into his man, and Van Riem's like is not happy about that one at all. But he glided into Stepan. Yes, it may have been from behind, but I think at most that should have been 2 for roughing. But now the Leafs have a huge penalty to kill, and I'm not sure if they're going to be able to come back from this one. The leading point scorer has just been ejected. Now it's basically up to Phil Kessel and Tyler Bozak to win this game. As the Leafs, other than them, maybe Kadri, don't really have much depth scoring. But now Richards back to the point. McDonough takes a slap shot, and that's stopped by Reimer. And Reimer actually decides to throw it out. Gleason wasn't expecting it. And now St. Louis fighting for it. Gleason loses it. It's a front to Richards, whose shot is stopped. But now Chris Kreider behind the net, looking for a partner, and Richards misses the shot. Now Stahl, he gets a shot on goal, and Martin St. Louis puts it off the bar. And Carl Gunnarsson passes up to David Clarkson. Clarkson, he's going to take it on. He dekes out in a backhander, and that's stopped, and the net goes off its moorings after David Clarkson runs into Henrik Lundqvist. But now, as you see here, a nice stop from Lundqvist, reading the play the entire way. Some nice cuts from Clarkson, excuse me. But now Boland and Bozak come out for the offensive zone face-off, and Gardner takes a shot, and that's blocked. Brassard dumps it around for his man, Zuccarello. Now McDonough. Up to Hagelin, I believe that is. And Zuccarello dekes in a nice shot, but that's stopped by Reimer. Now Morgan Riley fighting for it. He eventually gets it. And now Bozak. The pass to Bozak was off the mark, excuse me. But now Jake Gardner, he's able to dump, and that was almost a nice pass to Dave Boland. And now Boland trying to cut down on the pass. 2:25 left in the power play, and that will be an icing call as Morgan Riley touches up. A bad pass from the Rangers, and that's going to cost them some valuable time on this power play. I think if the Rangers are going to get a nice stranglehold on this game, they need to capitalize on this long power play. But now an offensive zone faceoff, Bozak and Boland stay out. And what will happen this time? Bozak wins the draw. Sorry, it's Kessel out there now. Phil Kessel dekes, and he gets the puck stolen. Looks like Randy Carlisle tried to send out Kessel to get some offense on the shorthanded chance. But now that's an offside on Derek Brassard, I believe that was. But yeah, now McClement and Clarkson are out. Top penalty killing line. Morgan Riley slaps it down the ice. Now Dan Girardi around to Strawman. That was off the mark. And now Richards gets hit hard. And now backhander chance from Clarkson misses wide. Benoit Pouliot. Quick pass to Brad Richards. Richards over to his partner, and his shot is off the mark. Now Benoit Pouliot scores. Benoit Pouliot comes around in front. And now the Rangers have a commanding 2-0 lead in this game with 1:10 left in the power play. Pouliot's first of the playoffs from Girardi and Richards. And just circled around, and just tough luck. Morgan Riley wasn't able to get there to get the body check or the poke quick enough as he was tied up by St. Louis. And now Pouliot's power play goal from Girardi and Richards makes it a 2-0 game with 14:14 left in the second. And the Leafs are going to have to kick this one into high gear if they want to continue their year. Boland down low. Tries to pass it up, and that's to Zuccarello. But now Brassard. A quick up pass. And now Hagelin takes a slap shot, and that's easily stopped by Reimer. If Gleason wasn't there, that would have been an easy shorthanded breakaway goal. Hagelin. Back to Zuccarello. The Norwegian. Passes up to McDonough. Ryan McDonough. Looking for a partner, gets hit. But now Zuccarello regains control in the zone. And the power play is now over. The Rangers convert once on the power play. And now Boland on the counterattack. Over to Orr, who is taking the penalty. Orr takes his wrist shot, and that's blocked. Now Hagelin into the middle to Stahl. Stahl looking for somebody. Stahl being pressured. Still has it now. Back to McDonough. Ryan McDonough looking for a partner. Passes up to Hagelin. Now Zuccarello. Zuccarello hit. And the puck goes loose, and there's a penalty on the play. David Clarkson is going to go off 2 minutes of frustration play for sure. And that's just an ill-advised play from Clarkson. Puck nowhere near Zuccarello. Just destroys him. And that's going to be 2 minutes for interference, I believe. McClement wins the draw. Gardner able to dump right away, and that nearly hit the coach right in the head. So now some plus-minus stats from the playoffs as we get right back to the action. Kessel actually out to kill the penalty with McClement. McClement loses the draw. Girardi takes a slap shot, and that's easily stopped by Reimer, and he will cover up. You know, some of your better penalty killers are either out of the game or in the penalty box when Phil Kessel is on the penalty kill, in James Van Riemsdyk, who was a regular penalty killer, and David Clarkson. But now Kessel has the puck, and he's got space. Phil Kessel with speed takes a shot, and that's stopped by Lundqvist. Richards being pressured, and now he dumps it around for McDonough. McDonough into Stahl, who passes up to Martin St. Louis. And St. Louis' pass up by the ice is off the mark, and Reimer is actually the one who dumps it down the ice with 1 minute left in the power play. Stahl up to St. Louis. St. Louis back to McDonough. McDonough up to his forward, who passes it into the zone. Kessel now with less than 30 seconds, as Phil Kessel, some nice moves, unable to bury it. And now probably the last attack from the Rangers on this power play. Chris Kreider back to his point, and Stahl's shot is wide as the power play is ended. Gunnarsson fighting for it with Brad Richards. Gunnarsson still fighting for it and eventually wins. And now McClement on the counterattack. Jay McClement cuts inside, cuts it out, and a nice stop by Lundqvist as David Clarkson runs into him. Lucky that there was no penalty on that one, and the Rangers fans are on their feet. Lundqvist has stopped all 18 shots thrown at him by the Toronto Maple Leafs. But now the third line comes out for the Leafs. Haven't seen much of them today, or at least in this second. Boland wins the draw, and Raymond gets destroyed. But now Brian Boyle, not sure about that one. And there's another penalty on the play. The Leafs touch up, and it's going to be 2 minutes slashing to Dave Boland. So there's another penalty killer going off the ice. And let's see. Oh, that's just unlucky. Went for the stick check and breaks the stick in half. That's just tough luck. The Leafs are not getting any luck in this game as McClement loses the draw. McDonough to Stahl. Mark Stahl over to McDonough, who takes a slap shot. That's stopped, and the rebound is beautifully stopped by Reimer. Broussard had a wide open net, and somehow Reimer was able to get there to stop it. Broussard back to Stahl. Stahl over to McDonough, who takes a slap shot. That's blocked. McDonough down low to Hagelin, up to Stahl. Stahl back to Zuccarello. Zuccarello over to McDonough, into Stahl. Stahl down low, and that's off the mark. Broussard into the middle, that's intercepted by Morgan Riley. Now David Clarkson up to McClement on the counterattack. McClement with speed. Cuts outside, takes a shot, and that's stopped by Lundqvist. Lundqvist on fire. How are the Leafs going to get by him today? And there's another penalty on the play. Oh my word. A stop from Reimer. Broussard out to Hagelin, and another wonderful stop from Reimer. But now it's a 5-on-3. It's going to be boarding on Joffrey Lupul. Joffrey Lupul. Let's see here. Hagelin. Oh, that's a tough. Come on, ref. It's the playoffs. Joffrey Lupul is not happy, and Randy Carlyle is furious on the bench. But now, this has just turned atrocious. Bozak wins the draw. And Bozak with speed now. He's going to take it up the ice. Cutting outside, cutting back inside, takes a long shot, but that's wide. McDonough gets hit. Now Stahl up the ice to St. Louis, over to Richards. Richards gets destroyed by Gunnarsson, but the Rangers still have it with space, and that's a nice stop from Reimer. McDonough retreats to his own zone and now circles around, passes to Richards. Brad Richards dumps it down. Gleason intercepts. Gleason gets it out of the zone barely, and that's going to be entered offside by Mark Stahl. 2:56 left in the second and 58 in the penalty. The Leafs need to stay out of the penalty box, as we mentioned earlier, and if they don't, they may not have a chance in this game. They're already down by 2. This third period needs to be perfect for them. Rangers have had 5 power plays, were able to convert on the 5-minute one on James Van Riemsdyk. And now Riley up to McClement. McClement, Deeks. McClement, Deeks again. Cuts outside and a nice shot, but that's stopped again. McDonough up to Zuccarello. Back to Zuccarello. Matt Zuccarello gets destroyed. What a hit. Who was that by? Jake Gardner, of all people. And now the cross-ice passes off the mark. But now Clarkson, with less than 10 seconds left in the power play. McClement. Back to the point, and that's offside as Joffrey Lupul comes out of the box. Now the Leafs need to stay out of the box for the rest of this game. We've said that multiple times already, but what a hit from Jake Gardner on Matt Zuccarello. Oh, what a hit. Ferocious. But now the first line's out for the Leafs. Joffrey Lupul filling in for Van Riemsdyk there on the left wing spot. Gunnarsson dumps it down. And that's actually out of play. Gunnarsson dumps it and puts a little too much loft on that one. And it'll be a face-off at center ice. Dave Bolin to take the draw for the Leafs. And Bolin wins it. Gunnarsson quick up to Kulemin. Nikolai Kulemin tries to deke, but that is intercepted. Miller back to John Moore. Up to Dorsett. Dorsett gets hit hard, and he is injured with 6 seconds left. Moore touches up, and what a hit. Let's take another look at this one. Oh my. The leg of Dorsett got destroyed. But I think it's the abdomen that he's actually holding. Phaneuf got the knee up there in that area. And that does not look good. I don't think Dorsett will be returning for this game as Kessel takes one last shot in the period. Lundqvist standing on his head. A phenomenal performance as he's had throughout this entire playoffs so far. All 5 games of it. But what a period from the Rangers. An offensive onslaught. The Leafs need to stay out of the penalty box, missing their best scorer so far the playoffs, but it is a 2-0 lead for the Rangers. Welcome back here to potentially the final period of play in the Leafs season. They're down 3-1 in the series, and if the Rangers win this game, as they already have the lead 2-0, the Leafs season will be over and the Rangers will move on to the second round of Stanley Cup action. But we're underway here in the third as St. Louis retreats to his own zone. Martin St. Louis all the way behind his own net and dumps it around for Stahl, who gets hit. But now Kessel takes a shot and that's blocked. Lupul trying to find some space, somehow got a shot away, and that was stopped by Lundqvist. Now Bozak. Tyler Bozak stops, takes a slap shot, and that's gloved down by Lundqvist. What a performance from the Swedish goaltender. What a performance. It's insane how good he is. A steal in the draft from the Rangers. And what a snag out of midair. That one probably would have gone wide nonetheless. But a nice play from Lundqvist. Bolin loses the draw. Girardi dumps it around to Kreider. Kreider to John Moore. Moore dumps it around to Girardi. Carcillo. Kreider. Chris Kreider with speed. Gets hit. Stays on his feet. Back to John Moore, and that's a turnover. Nikolai Kulemin with speed. Looking for a partner. Loses the puck, and that's poked by Lundqvist. Now John Moore. Quick up to Kreider. Kreider gets hit. Still has the puck. Chris Kreider down low. Gets hit again. And now Tim Gleason with the puck. Now Kadri. Haven't seen much of him today. Now Lupul with a nice chance. And Kadri jumps on Lundqvist. And now Girardi having a few choice words for Kadri there. Main reason we haven't seen Kadri much is because of all the penalties. But a nice chance there from Lupul. A wonderful snag by King Henrik. Leafs have dominated on the face-off dot, winning 72.9% of face-offs as that was stopped by Lundqvist again. Leafs starting to get some momentum, but with only 12:21 left in the third, they need to score quickly. Looked like Gunnarsson wanted a tip on that one. Henrik Lundqvist wasn't able to get a clean glove to it, but he was still able to corral the rebound. Kessel back to Phaneuf, who takes a slap shot that's blocked. McDonough up to Zuccarello. Mats Zuccarello dumps it down the ice with a slap shot. Now Phaneuf up to Kessel. Phil Kessel shoots and scores! Phil Kessel scores! A wonderful wrist shot. Short side. Holy Mackinac. Phil Kessel's second of the playoffs from Dion Phaneuf. A solo effort. Basically, all he did was get the pass from Dion Phaneuf. But what a shot. A rocket of a wrist shot. And it is now 2-1. And the Leafs now have momentum and are back in this game. Justin Falk over to Anton Strawman, who dumps it down the ice. Colton Norback to get the puck. Or up to McClement. Jay McClement cutting outside, cutting inside, shoots and scores! Jay McClement ties it up with 9:16 left in the third. And the fourth line scores. And Henrik Lundqvist is rattled. Colton Orr gets an assist in the playoffs. And McClement cutting inside. Wow, what a shot. Beats the glove of Henrik Lundqvist. And just like that, when only 2 minutes ago it was a 2-0 game, it is now tied 2-2 from Jay McClement and Phil Kessel. Wow is the only way to describe what has just happened as the Leafs enter offside. The momentum has just completely turned to the Leafs side. But Mason Raymond got destroyed there again by Chris Kreider. Just absolutely rocked. But holy cow. Wow. I am almost out of breath. McDonough has logged already half an hour of action. As now stalled to Carcillo to Brassard. Derek Brassard looking for spacing. This is Kreider and scores! Chris Kreider gives the Rangers the lead off of the one-timer. MSG goes from silent to right back on their feet. Kreider's second of the playoffs. A beautiful assist from Brassard. And I'm not sure what the Leafs defense was doing. Mason Raymond should have been covering Kreider, but two men went after Kreider. Sorry, not Kreider, Brassard. But Kreider's second of the playoffs, so Brassard and Carcillo make this a 3-2 game, and the Leafs are right back behind. Stahl. Mark Stahl. This has been a wicked game to watch, especially this third period. St. Louis behind the net scores! Just like that! It is a 4-2 game for the Rangers. Martin St. Louis scores the backhander, and the Leafs, just like last year, have collapsed. I'm not sure what happened there. Phaneuf, what on earth was he doing? Reimer, what was he doing? He should have stopped that. Oh my word, 4-2. The Leafs collapse again in the third period of an elimination game. Except this time they didn't have the lead. They just gave up a tie. Now Kuhlman loses the puck. Kreider, Carcillo, Brassard. Derek Brassard passes into Kreider, excuse me, who dumps it down the ice. 5 minutes left for the Leafs to score 2 goals. Mason Raymond with speed. Cuts in, loses the puck to Kuhlman, and Kuhlman gets robbed by Henrik Lundqvist. Now Kuhlman back to Gleason, who takes a shot. No! Where's the puck? Poking forward and is stopped by Lundqvist. Oh, wow. 3:36 left in this third and potentially the Leafs season. I have no clue how this game got this exciting. Was there a tip on this one? Yes, there was. The Franzen shot was tipped by Mason Raymond. And oh my goodness. Bozak wins the draw. Phaneuf takes a low shot. That's wide. McDonough to Richards. Richards out to St. Louis. And that's chopped back into the New York zone. 2 minutes left in this game. McDonough up to Hagelin, into Richards, and now up to Martin St. Louis, who dekes inside. With space, takes a low shot. The rebound is taken by Phaneuf. Excuse me, I didn't know what the whistle was for. The net went off its moorings. But 107 for the Leafs. And I don't think that's enough time. I don't think that they'll be able to score 2. But we'll wait and see. Bozak loses the draw. Stalled to McDonough. The Leafs need to get back in the New York zone quick. Who is that? Stahl, I think. Dumps it around. McDonough. Killing time. Nearly intercepted now. Kessel. Kessel takes a slap shot. That's wide. Phil Kessel misses the net. Bozak back to Gunnarsson. Gunnarsson stops. Gunnarsson takes a shot. That's blocked. And now Hagelin one-on-one with Dion Phaneuf. 30 seconds left. The Leafs still have much hope left. In the middle, that's stopped by Reimer. Everybody's on their feet. 25 seconds left. All Ranger fans are going nuts. St. Louis back to the point. Stahl takes a low shot. That's blocked by his own man. 18 left. Clarkson cuts inside. Cuts outside. Trying to cut cross. Where's the puck? And that's covered up by Lundqvist. 9.5 seconds left. And there's going to be a penalty called on the play to McDonough. And of all times for that to happen is now. It's going to be for roughing as he just started running into Clarkson. But a little too late as the Leafs season will end here in the MSG in Game 5 of the Round 1 Stanley Cup playoffs. 6 seconds. Raymond takes a shot and the clearance is blocked. Now Franzen brings it in offside. 0.7 seconds left in the Leafs season. And now Franzen. And now there's going to be another penalty on the play. And of course it's going to happen now. 5-on-3 for the Leafs with 0.7 seconds left. If this could have happened 2 minutes earlier, the Leafs were in prime position to tie up this game. But no. Brian Boyle's going to go off for roughing. Same thing as McDonough. And Kadri will take the final draw of the Leafs season. And the Leafs have officially been eliminated from the NHL playoffs. The New York Rangers advance to round 2. And the Leafs are distraught a second year in a row. Except this time not as bad. Management will not be too pleased with this result. Jonathan Bernier was unable to do anything in the first 2 games, allowing 4 goals in both. So they brought in Reimer. He's won the first game, but was unable to win anymore. I'd like to thank you for watching. Next video will be the off-season video, recapping everything. But I have a little something special here at the end. So if you're interested, I recommend waiting. So I'll see you in the next episode. If you're not, goodbye. Breaking news here at KBC News. The Toronto Maple Leafs and New York Rangers Game 5 game has just ended. And the Toronto Maple Leafs have been eliminated from the playoffs, losing 4-2. They brought it back quickly after being down 2-0. But lost it quickly. Now, Jonathan Bernier and Joffrey Lupul have just spoken to the media. And here's what they had to say. Bernier spoke briefly with the media, mainly explaining how mad he was at himself. Here's what he had to say. I'm mad at myself mainly. I blew the first 2 games, lost the starting job, and then we ended up losing the series. The person who is most to blame is me. I just hope next year we can rebound and make it farther in the playoffs. Lupo spoke longer to the media, but here's what he had to say to us. I'm disappointed with the result this year. We were hoping to beat the Rangers and move on to the second round. On the bright side, this gives us more motivation to do better next year. And this is the material that I look for in a captain. Somebody who takes the bright side of something bad that happened. And that's what Lupo's doing this year. And Dion Phaneuf was nowhere in sight when talking to the media. So that is something interesting to look for in the offseason. Whether there will be captaincy changes. But we'll see you next time on KBC News. Goodbye.